Hi there, guys, and welcome to this interview with Chris from Therapeutic Elements. And today he's going to share his story in the massage industry and also give some tips about business and marketing and how he got to where he got to and grew his business. So, yeah, Chris, thanks for doing this interview. And if you want to just start by introducing yourself and telling us a bit about you and your business.
Sure. Thanks, Kurt. And hello, everybody in the Massage Success Academy. So I started started my business right out of massage school in 2002 as a solo practitioner, renting space. Finally opened my own free-standing location in 2009. And that's actually when I started learning how to market and got really heavily involved in networking. And that worked really well for me while I was a solo practitioner. But as I got more and more adept at word of mouth marketing and networking, I soon realized that as I would network with people, they only wanted to work with me, and I was trying to build a practice with multiple practitioners. So I had to find other avenues to actually get new leads to convert and put bodies on the table, as I like to say, so that my other therapists had an opportunity to work with new people. And as I was thinking it and probably saying it, and I'm sure, as all of you know, Facebook is listening to everything, Kurt's ads popped up magically in my news feed.
Creepy.
So I clicked on it, and it said, guaranteed 7 clients in 7 days. I was like, hey, I'll give that a shot. And that first ad worked really, really well. I was pretty impressed. And I've been wanting to learn more and more about digital marketing as I'm trying to increase the amount of new people that we see. We're pretty good at retention, but always trying to build other therapists' client book. The digital avenue is definitely the fastest as far as quantity. I think from word of mouth networking, the most I was ever getting is maybe 2 to 4 new clients a week. That's really good. However, I'm getting 2 to 3 a day. So definitely love learning the techniques and enjoying all the problems that come with more and more business.
Yeah, it certainly opens up to new problems once you fix that problem of getting clients in. So how long have you been in the industry, and how long were you a solo therapist before having your practice now, and how many people do you see per week in your practice, etc.?
I was in the industry for about 10 years by myself. And as soon as I opened up the freestanding location, I began renting space to other therapists. But, I recall very vividly, I had a heart-to-heart conversation with a therapist who wanted to be her own boss, and she kind of broke down crying. She's like, I'm really having a hard time getting new people in. I was like, well, you're not my employee, but if you want to take that route and put me in charge of generating clients for you, we could do that. And that's kind of how I got my first employee, actually. And I said, okay, well, clearly I need to be responsible for her so she can, pay her bills. And, getting to that point where I felt comfortable and confident that I could bring in new employees and actually feed them new clients. That was definitely a blessing. Gosh, I forget the other question that you asked me.
Yeah, just where you're at now with how many
clients
sessions you do. Yeah, like in a week, how many sessions? Yeah.
My executive summary doesn't give me the report that yours does, but we're about 80 a week. That's probably right where we're at.
Yeah, nice. All right, and that's awesome. And so I was going to ask questions about, how you came across the program, but you've answered that. And what thoughts or concerns did you have before joining the Massage Therapist Success Academy? Because everyone's, skeptical about things they see online.
Honestly, I mean, you gave us a guarantee, so that was pretty smart. You got rid of the concern, like, is this going to be a waste of my money? It may be a waste of your time, You can't really guarantee against that, but I think for most therapists, time is what we have to trade for money when we're just starting out. So that's an okay trade. I think it was like $7. It was, I don't know. I forget how much it was when I first started.
At that time, it was $1. Yeah,
it was $1. Yeah, it was $1. It was
actually. I say it was $1, but it was actually free because Stripe doesn't let me do $1 trial, so it was like free trial.
Yeah, it was completely worth it. The things that I use the most would probably be the social media posts. I'm really not good about the emails. I got to get better at the emails, and I think I spoke to you earlier today about how to integrate Zapier and get that a little bit more automated. So definitely that's on my list of things to do. So I haven't really used all the email content that you give. You give so much content, I can't possibly use all of it.
That's a lot, yeah.
That's good. But definitely being able to send out several posts to whatever social site I want to weekly is good. I've used the birthday ad the most, and then the win-back campaign with saying, hey, did you get our birthday email? Here's $35 off. That's been actually really, really beneficial too. Once we figured out how to send kind of a mass text and not have it look like a mass text. So
yeah,
those have been really helpful. And I guess there was one other thing I was going to say, but all in all, there's probably too much content for one person to actually digest and use. So I think you have to just kind of pick and choose what are those things you're going to consistently use, and then just monitor it and watch it and see what works.
Yeah, it's a trade-off I have between putting in too much and not enough, because I guess I want people to just choose what the problems that they want to solve right now, and whether it's like getting more clients in, there's like all these modules, whether it's like social media marketing, just in general, branding, emails, is that stuff, customer service, different business lessons as well. So yeah, you mentioned the positive results. I was going to ask about you. Your first campaign went really well, and you say now you use the ads, you get about 2 to 3 a day, and then you have the win-back campaign, which is extra. So you might get like 15 to 20 leads a week in general.
So
ads.
And I use Mindbody as my management platform, so they can tell me how many intro offers I've sold a day. And I kind of divide that by how many days we're actually open.
Yeah.
So that's how I get that. But yeah, I would say on the daily, easy to say it's about 4 of the birthday ads a week are coming back. I mean, we send out a lot more than that, but probably about 4 of those birthday win-backs a week. And then, 2 intro offers a day presently.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, it's like a consistent way to get clients in over and over. It's repeatable, which is really cool, because I don't know if it was the same for you, but when I got into business, my biggest thing was like, how do I get clients? It was like this big mystery. And then you realize like there are ways to consistently get clients in if you just learn marketing methods and whatnot. So another big aha moment for me, it kind of takes a lot of stress off, right?
It does, and I wanted to speak to the fact that, I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but I was taught marketing and pricing by a therapist, and I think that was a huge mistake. And I think that that's a problem probably in more massage schools than just my own. Taught to, don't ever give discounts because you're selling yourself short. And the more and more I look at the success of what I've been doing here, because we are giving a discount, at the end of the day, you're going to pay for that client one way or the other. And how quickly do you want to build your business? Like you could not give a discount and it could take you 10 years, or you could give a discount and it could take you 2 years. So what do you want to do?
Yeah, exactly. I always find it funny that people come into the course sometimes and they're like, I don't want to give a discount. And I give options to people who don't want to give a discount. I have another, you can add value, right? Which is still a discount, but people, like you charge your full price, but you give them free stuff on top, and that works. It doesn't work as well, but it works. But it's still essentially a discount. But I have a discount to get into my course, and so I always find it funny when people come into the course on a discount, and then they're like, "I don't want to do discounts; they don't work." I'm like, "Well, all these people in my academy who have stayed on after the discount because they saw the value." And I give examples in the academy. So every business you go to has a discount one way or another.
Yeah.
They have a free trial or a taste tester, or they have sales on, like everyone does it.
Something to get you in the door.
Yeah. And I definitely do get the devaluing thing, but as long as it's not a continuous discount and you're not the cheapest, like I always tell people you should be the most expensive place in your area if it's worth it. Like you have to be worth it though, right? But we're the most premium place in our town. We give a discount and we have amazing retention. So I'm sure you're the same, you know.
Correct. And I would say to dispel that myth of having a discount, you have to have all the necessary steps in place already for that person to come back, and you have to lead them by the hand and make it super easy. You literally have to spell out the process from beginning to end and then lead them along the way and say, hey, look at how amazing we are, and here's your discount. By the way, this is what we've created for you to come back. Mm-hmm. But you have to have all that stuff in place rather than just giving a discount and hoping they love you and come back on their own.
Yeah, 100%. Because you do memberships too, which you have success with, which is amazing. We do memberships as well. And like, that's what, what's that?
I'm sorry. Did you read The Membership Economy?
I haven't read is it a book?
Yeah, it's a great book that was recommended by another business coach of mine, and they spell out, they look at a lot of huge organizations that have succeeded because they have memberships, and I'll just point out I'm assuming you guys have Blockbuster in Australia.
Used to, yeah.
Yeah, used to, right. Well, you still have Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's just a classic example of what happens when you have a membership and your competition doesn't.
We have to get the sales process down. So I always looked at Massage Envy when I started, and like a lot of therapists hate Massage Envy, and that's fine. Like it's corporate, and they have a lot of negative stuff that goes on with underpaying therapists and whatnot, and that's separate. But there's a reason why they have managed to grow so quickly, because they always gave a discount at the start, and then they have a membership, and it's just you get clients in, you give them a reason to come in, and then you need to fix your sales and rebooking process, which is other things I have in the academy. But people, like therapists, just are so foreign, the marketing and sales, and that's just because they care, right? Therapists are just carers. And unfortunately, when you're in your own business, you have to learn that stuff if you want to be really if you want to have a secure financial future, I guess.
I do like when you post your summary and it shows how many treatments you guys have done for the week, because I'm like, well, if he can do it, I can do it.
Yeah. Well, before COVID, we were doing twice as many.
I know. Yeah, I recall. Yeah, it was awesome.
Now, it's just hard to get therapists, quality therapists that we want. But yeah, and we pay the most in town, so it's frustrating. It's just,
you have a very interesting payment model. I've never seen that before, where you just guarantee a flat rate. You're still doing that same thing?
Yeah, we have most of our therapists are on what's called, like in Australia, we have some contractors, but you have to offer people full-time employment with benefits after a certain amount of months. It's just part of the law. Yeah. And they can choose to take it or not. So most of our therapists have benefits and like a set amount of minimum hours a week where they have to be paid a certain amount. So yeah, a lot of them are on part-time, which is 15-hour minimum. And then we try and fill them up as much as we can to make a full-time week. But it's a minimum and with benefits. But okay. And so, you've been in the industry for a while. What have been your biggest challenges? Like if you can list 3 of your biggest challenges that you've come across from where you started to where you are now and how you overcome them.
Yeah. So management of people.
And what do you mean? Just
Yeah. So from my understanding and what I came to realize and what I was taught is you can't manage people. You just can't. But you can manage systems. So if you have the systems in place, then you have policies and procedures, and what happens if you don't follow those policies and procedures. So if you're trying to, you know, create an organization that has more than just one person, you have to have systems in place to monitor the performance of the people. And then basically, people can fire themselves if they don't want to follow the system. But you don't have to fire anybody because you're just monitoring a system. And that was a huge revelation for me because starting out, there was a lot of conflict just with personalities and how do you get everybody on board and following the same mission and vision statement. But yeah, just dialing down your systems was pretty big importance.
yeah, massive. Yeah.
Um, Number two, once you have the marketing dialed in, it does become a lot easier. That's a big burden and a big stress, but then you can kind of sit back. You know that people are coming in, and you can kind of fine tune the process that people are coming in and experiencing. Um, Asking for feedback, that's really, really critical. And getting comfortable with constructive criticism from your staff, having one-on-one meetings with the staff, and figuring out what problems are starting to grow and fester, and tackling those problems one-on-one with a staff member before it becomes huge and blows over
Yeah,
to something
nice.
bigger than it needs to be. But then also asking for feedback from clients, especially if you're going to be making any huge changes within the studio. For instance, switching over from a standard pay to a membership based fee schedule. Those are big, impactful changes. And knowing that even if you get enough feedback and you feel comfortable with the change, you're still probably going to lose 20% of your business. But you're also raising your rate. So you're making room for more people who are going to pay the higher fee. But yeah, definitely an emotional roller coaster owning a business.
Every day, every week. So yeah, I really like both of those. And what's some other examples of getting feedback from customers? And is it something you do systematically, where after a session, it's like an automated email that goes out, or is it a manual call?
We
Or
do have an automated email that goes out that asks for testimonial / review, and that it will only it like triggers to post it if it's higher than say 7 stars out of 10 stars, 7 out of 10, whatever it sends out. Um, and then if it's, I think it asks, hey, why did you rate us that? So it's pretty unbiased. It says, please tell us how your experience was, and then it says, now tell us why. And if it's a detractor feedback, 7 or less, we get that email right away, and it says, hey, you got some negative feedback. You should reach out to this person and find out more. On my website, I have yet to have anybody really invoke this guarantee, but I say very clearly, we do have a satisfaction guarantee. If for whatever reason you're unhappy, please just tell us what we can do better next time, and your next treatment's on the house.
that's smart. Yeah, I like that.
And nobody really ever invokes that, but again, it's taking down that feeling of, is this going to be a waste of my money? Because that's what typically the customer is thinking before they ever come and visit you. And then as soon as they walk through the door, they have that feeling, and they're also looking to see, is this place clean? Like, those are the two things you really got to tackle before they're going to start to begin to trust you. And then when they're on the table, if there's somebody who I've been working with for quite some time, I really value them. They're like a high ticket client. I just flat out ask them, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? How would this make you feel? The reality is you could pay somebody thousands of dollars to come in and analyze your business and tell you what they think the good, the bad, and the ugly is. But you got all those customers. You can just utilize those for free. and they'll love you for it as long as you actually listen to them and then do something about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. This is a separate story, but I read a long time ago that the highest profitable business in the world at the time that I read it was Lululemon per square meter of retail space. And the owner is obsessed, has always been obsessed with customer feedback, and just always asking feedback, always asking, even to the point where I think they train their staff to like go to the change rooms and listen to people talking about when they're trying their clothes on. So it's just how you improve. Like you have to have the best product and the best service, and you can win business. Like you can win at business.
Yeah.
And the only way to have the best product is to listen to your customers. So it's super valuable. Okay, and so those are some of the biggest challenges. What are the three or top best strategies or tactics that you've found to grow your business? We've kind of touched on a few, but if you have any others.
If you're a solo practitioner, I would definitely get into networking. I've actually taken a back seat to it, but I do have some other therapists that they're really good at networking, and it is a different animal. It's still marketing, but it's relationship-based marketing.
Do you mean BNI?
I was, yeah, for about 12 years. I was a trainer for the organization for a little while too.
Yeah, I was in BNI as well.
Yeah, and it's powerful. It really opened some doors for me, made some connections. I would say that was my launching pad, but there's just not enough time to donate to BNI or another networking group and still do the other day-to-day operations I have to do.
Yeah. My big turning point was like I kept going to BNI when I was a solo business owner. I started as a personal trainer, so I used to go to BNI like that. And I got a couple of clients here and there, but like when I started discovering Facebook ads and online marketing, I was like, why would I sit here for an hour plus travel when I can just put an ad up and get 20 people in a week?
Correct.
My gym, so I was like eventually stopped, but
yeah. The quantity was just far superior. I will say that the quality of those leads, even if you convert them, the trust isn't built there. They're not a strong referral from another person that they trust. So what I noticed for me and my business is that when I got a referral from someone, they were in. I didn't have to sell them at all. But I did a lot of work building the relationship with the person that referred me that referral. So there was a lot of front-end work there. And the quality of that lead is, far superior. I don't have to do much to close them versus the quantity from the online leads. The amount is just insane.
Yeah.
And then it's just a number game.
Yeah. I agree.
Would you ask other
your best strategy tactics in your business growth?
I think okay, a mistake I've made, I was trying to have everybody do the same style massage. That was a mistake. And I was trying to make, if you came in and you experienced my treatment, you could literally go to another therapist and they would just pick up where I left off. I was trying to standardize everything. And that created a lot of tension amongst the therapists, because I would say the therapists tend to feel like artists. And now I see it as like, man, it's kind of like trying to ask Leonardo da Vinci to do something Michelangelo would have done. And, they would have rightfully told me to go bugger off or whatever. So actually utilizing everybody's differences as a strength and really dialing down, what are you good at? What type of client do you want to see? What syndromes do you have the most experience helping with? And then training the front desk to ask those qualifying questions to the client. What is it that we can do for you? What do you think we can do for you? And this will go into a little bit of Brian Tracy selling techniques. Disqualify yourself immediately and have the client tell you why they think you're the match for them. So, for instance, when I first started our website, we were getting tons of phone calls, but I wasn't closing any of them until I started a script that basically says, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, can you tell me a little bit about what's going on? And that one question changed everything for us, because now they were telling me what the problem was. And as soon as they told me the problem, I was able to say, I can help you with that, or no, we're not a good fit for you. And a lot of it was in the tone that I might not be a good fit for you. Tell me why I'm a good fit for you. So now they're selling themselves to me. So that was a huge change. And once they started to sell themselves to me, well, now I know which therapist to send them to. So now I'm matching the therapist up with a client who hopefully they create a really symbiotic relationship, and the likelihood that they're going to come back is increased. I think that was a huge game changer for us too.
Yeah, I love it. The thing is, I tell people what sales is. It's very core. And a lot of people are scared of sales, right? They're like, I don't want to learn sales. I'm not a salesperson. This is basically sales, right? It's find out your customers' problems, figure out how you can solve those problems. And that's it. And then demonstrate to the customer how you can help them.
Yeah. Fill the gap.
Is it. I mean, obviously there's a lot of techniques in that you can expand that out, but it's just first of all is understanding your customers' problems, which most people don't do. Like, how many therapists have you gone to see, maybe on holidays or whatever, or you go to a different place for a massage? They don't ask questions at the start. They don't do a proper consultation or movement screen. And it's just like, hey, what do you want done? Blah, blah. Okay, hop on the table. Like, how many times have you had that happen? And it's like, that's how you're going to get someone to come back and see you regularly if you don't even know how to help them properly. And they don't even think that you know. Do you know what I mean? So
it is amusing to me the amount of times people say, hey, nobody's ever asked me these questions. Why do you have so many questions on your intake form? This is a lot of information. Like, well, yeah, how am I going to be able to help you if I don't get the full picture?
Yeah. Yeah. And most people just at that, customers are going to be like, well, like, he actually understands my problems. And this is the first place that's understood my problems. So I'm going to give him a chance to at least a couple sessions to fix it, because he has the information, and he has the information to help me.
You just said something there that triggered another thought that I think everybody could benefit from. At a core level, human beings tend to want to be heard, felt, and understood. That's like all we want. So if you can just do that, just listen and make somebody feel like they've been heard, you're going to be way above the competition, and you're going to create trust with that person. They're going to want to come back and be heard again. So I think that's really important. Yeah.
Over the last few years in the academy, I've spoken to the therapists and found out the ones with the highest rebooking rate, 80, 90% and above, even on first visits, they just so happen to have the longest and most in-depth consultations. It's not a coincidence. But yeah. Cool. So final question is, like, what do you feel like sets your business apart from others in your area? I mean, we've covered, like, you probably do better consultations, you understand the problem better. Do you have any, like, customer service things, or what do you feel sets your business apart?
One thing, an idea that I got from Sam Walden, the guy who used to own Walmart. He used to go out and he would go to the other 5 and dime stores, and he would measure the aisles and see how they were doing things and check out the competition and figure out, how can I innovate? This is a really good idea. How can I bring that back to my business and do it a little bit better? I did that with our membership program. I went to all the other chains. Massage Envy, Hannah Stone is popular here. Any other chains I could find, I got their brochures and I dissected their membership, and I looked for what are called friction points, or reasons I wouldn't sign up for their membership, and I just eliminated all of them. And then I added a few, things like, if you sign up with us, we give you a $50 gift card that you can't use. You have to give it to someone you love. So awesome. I made it easy for people to refer more people to us, and
Yeah.
you know, their friends and loved ones can use their membership unlimited. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's
That's
just more
awesome.
business.
Yeah. That's great. That's a really great point. I really like that you went around to other places, improved it, and the referral thing off the start. That's amazing.
Yeah, and you know, I will say one other thing. This was told to me by somebody who was a personal trainer, so this might resonate with you too. You have to stock what you sell, and what I mean by that is an overweight, unfit personal trainer isn't going to have the same amount of clients as a fit personal trainer. And as a massage therapist, you're selling healthcare. And, you know, like it or not, people are going to make a judgment call when they first meet you based on how healthy you look. So if you don't look and smell and sound healthy, you're not going to get as many clients. So you got to stop what you sell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. All right. And so finishing up, so what is the future outcome that this program, you'd say the Academy has provided or helped provide for you? And what would be your recommendation to others who might be thinking about joining the Academy?
Well, I'm always trying to automate everything. And I was on the call with you earlier today talking about how to automate my emails through triggered responses and campaign ads. So that's my next step in the evolution, just to have those things work without me, but still work effectively. And your other question, remind me.
What recommendation would you have from others who might be thinking about joining the Academy?
Well, I'm going to recommend something that I don't even do myself. It's an ideal that I wish I would do, but you know, setting aside, you know, if you're going to join, you obviously it's not going to work unless you put effort into it. Set aside time that you can work uninterrupted, listening to, you know, a video, but then implementing the video right away. Because, you know, some of the videos are a good hour long, right? And I can imagine, you know, listening to it, I'm trying to follow along. If you have dual screens, that's going to help you a lot versus clicking back and forth on tabs on one computer.
Yeah.
But implement those things. Know that Facebook's always evolving. So Kurt does a pretty good job of trying to update the videos as Facebook changes things, but they change everything at such light speed. It's impossible to keep up with everything, but definitely set aside time to actually do it weekly. Treat it like a coaching call or a coaching session. Like even if you went to the gym, you'd be there for an hour with your coach. So literally sit down a week at least at a time. Put that time aside on your calendar where nobody's going to bother you, and start implementing things. And then watch and make sure that you're tracking. You got to track whether or not something's working. And then Kurt's really good about getting back to you on the calls to help you figure out how it can be tweaked to make it work better.
Cool. And so would you, if people are on the fence about joining, what would you say to them? If people are like weighing up joining or not?
The thing I love about this is you can measure the results. It's tough to measure the results from an ad that you maybe put into a local flyer. It's tough to measure the results that even from networking and BNI, unless you have a spreadsheet and you're tracking who you spoke to, how often you followed up with them, and all these spin-off referrals that came from that person. You can do it. It takes a lot of work, but this saves so much time.
Yeah.
Just automating those marketing processes that, you know, it's funny because it's not, you know, what have you got to lose? That's not the thing. It's like, man, you're going to save so much time.
Yeah.
It's like a no-brainer.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Well, I appreciate you setting aside time for this call, and I love helping you in the group. It's great to see people active and always improving. And by the sounds of it, you're a person who likes reading, likes like you're reading your books and learning about how you can improve your business. And I just think you have to treat it like that if you're going to succeed at anything, right? You're going to be always working at it, trying to be the best. So I love your attitude with that as well. And yeah, thanks for the interview.
Yeah, cool. I appreciate your help. And you know, you gave me some homework already, so I got to tackle that and then get back with you and see how that goes.
All right, I'll hear how it goes next week. All right, thanks, Chris.
Thanks.